Whoever believed that Jake Paul was going to win, that was an absolute fairy tale.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is over. Thank God it's over. What a joke of a fight.
From the minute he got into that ring, to get on the back foot and just start running around, it was quite pathetic, honest with you.
There was never a world in which Jake Paul was going to beat Anthony Joshua.
Jake Paul just got brutally crumbled by boxing experts after his hilarious yet embarrassing loss against Anthony Joshua. Yes, the pretty boy experiment ended with broken jaws, busted ribs, and the kind of damage you get when confidence meets heavyweight physics.
He's an idiot. There is no reason.
If Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, this won't last long. This will last as long as Josh wants it to last.
And let's not pretend this was shocking, because anyone with a functioning brain and a basic understanding of boxing already knew how this was going to end. It has been a wild few years watching Jake Paul move through boxing like a tourist collecting souvenirs.
You can't lose to a guy that's perceived to be a YouTuber, even though today,
retired mixed martial artists, former champions past their expiration date, even athletes whose main relationship with punching involved a basketball. That was the pattern. Loud build-up, viral clips, selective matchmaking, and a lot of talk about changing the sport.
Jake Paul is concerned because that's not boxing. He was just trying to survive. And when you try to survive in a fight, then the other guy can't knock you out because you're not looking to win.
Then 2025 happened, and suddenly Jake Paul was standing across the ring from Anthony Joshua, a former unified heavyweight champion with Olympic gold and real scars from real wars.
Dude's got balls. Dude's got balls standing there with AJ, who had been off, so his chin is refreshed. He's ready to fight.
Joshua came in with more than 25 professional wins, multiple heavyweight title reigns, and a resume that starts with gold at the London 2012 Olympics. Jake Paul came in with 13 professional fights, none against active or former heavyweight champions, and none that demanded elite defensive discipline.
You get paid $90 million to just survive? He just survived. Like he just ran around the ring.
The contrast was not subtle. From the first bell, Joshua controlled distance like someone who had done this for over a decade. He set traps, dictated pace, and let Paul burn energy, chasing moments that never came. The size difference alone told part of the story, but the experience gap told the rest. Paul talked all week about knockouts and statements. Joshua showed up to work.
Anthony Joshua is trying to find him. As the fight goes longer, all those big actions, the shots, the big overhand rights, all those things are starting to fatigue Paul.
The early rounds were quiet in the way dangerous things usually are. Joshua was patient, measured, and calm. He was not rushing. He was not loading up. He was letting the ring shrink around Paul. Jake tried to sell confidence, but the footwork told a different story. Backing up, resetting late, reacting instead of initiating. This is where reality tends to arrive in heavyweight boxing, and when the knockout came, it did not feel shocking to anyone who had been honest about the matchup.
You know, you're gonna get knocked out anyway, dude. Like, I was hoping I could say, you know what, because he earned the respect of boxing fans by going out on his shield. Guy just ran for his life. I just watched Jake Paul run for his life for like 5-6 rounds.
I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg.
One of the first voices people turned to was Teddy Atlas, and his message was brutally consistent with everything he had said before the fight. Heavyweight fundamentals do not forgive. At lighter weights, mistakes can be survived.
I mean, this guy literally never tried to win a second of the fight. He was trying to throw a home run punch every once in a while. Then notice every time he got in the clinch, he just went down. Like he just hugged Anthony Joshua and then like would go down, and the referee would call it a slip and give him a break. And like you would just kill time that way.
At heavyweight, mistakes get punished immediately. Atlas pointed out that when someone lacks elite defensive habits, the division itself becomes the opponent. You are not just fighting a man, you are fighting physics, mass, leverage, timing, and consequences. Jake Paul had never lived in that world before this night.
The way you beat a guy like that, you're not going to outbox him. If you're waiting on him and he's initiating and he's feinting you into counters and then he's countering the counter.
Even while I think a heavyweight has a chance in any fight, a puncher's chance, I don't think Jake Paul has anything for Anthony Joshua.
Do you respect him for taking it?
Yeah, you have to because that's terrifying. Like that.
Then came Carl Froch, who did not bother with diplomacy. Froch reminded everyone that Paul had already lost to Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight who never reached British title level. That loss alone told experts where the ceiling was. If Paul struggled there, jumping straight to a heavyweight champion was not ambition, it was denial. Froch emphasized that boxing progression exists for a reason. You do not skip levels in a sport designed to punish shortcuts.
He knocked him down twice. I thought the fight was going to be over because he was going to knock him down again.
The physical numbers only made the conversation harsher. Analysts pointed out that Joshua carried over a 100-pound weight advantage on fight night, with a reach differential exceeding 6 inches. That is not trivia. That is control. Control of range, control of exchanges, control of when violence happens.
Honestly, what do you want the guy to do? I mean, this guy ran for his life in a 22 by 22 foot ring. That ring was huge.
Experts were quick to shut down the popular excuse of a puncher's chance. At heavyweight, that argument only works when both fighters understand defense at a high level. When one does not, the puncher's chance becomes a puncher's risk.
It looked like that was the moment he was going to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm done, I'm injured, I'm hurt, I don't want to do that. But hats off to him, he got up and he kept fighting. We get to the 6th round and you can just tell that it's over.
Betting markets reflected this long before the first bell. Joshua entered as a massive favorite, with odds implying well over an 85% chance of victory. This was not disrespect. This was math. The market saw what the hype tried to hide. Experience, size, skill, and history matter. Loud confidence does not change probabilities.
In my life, I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so... Yeah.
Let's go!
It's definitely broke. But,
After the knockout, attention shifted to the punch itself. Comparisons flooded in immediately to Joshua's 2024 knockout of Francis Ngannou, which ended in under 3 rounds. Ngannou had never been knocked out before that fight, not once. Joshua did it cleanly and efficiently. Experts noted that Joshua's right hand travels close to 40 miles per hour, elite speed for a heavyweight carrying that much mass. When that punch lands, careers pause.
But Joshua just ate that. And I think when Anthony saw he could take those punches and they could really do no damage to him, it even boosted his confidence more. Because then he got even more reckless in his approach to getting after Paul.
What made Paul's situation worse was the technical breakdown. He failed to adjust after early feints. He walked into counters instead of forcing messy exchanges. He reacted late and exited straight back. Commentators agreed that if the same right hand that folded Ngannou landed on Paul, there was no version of this fight where it ended differently. That was not trash talk. That was anatomy. Then came Johnny Nelson, who cut through the noise with a line that stuck because it was so accurate. He said Anthony Joshua does not play touch boxing at any level. That was not trash talk. That was a technical observation. Joshua is not a fighter who toys with opponents. When he commits fully. Nelson emphasized that Joshua's style has always been about control, followed by damage, regardless of opponent profile. Exhibition mentality does not exist in Joshua's ring habits. If you step in with him wearing 10-ounce gloves, you are signing up for consequences.
You knew that Anthony Joshua was going to eventually land something that hurt Jake Paul. And you know how you know the boxing world wanted it to be brutal? Because Rosendo was sitting here and he goes, I hope he gets knocked out bad.
The business side did not soften the criticism either. Simon Jordan was especially ruthless in his framing. Jordan called the challenge absurd regardless of financial upside, making it clear that money does not justify ignoring competitive reality. He acknowledged the commercial success, but separated it from sporting logic. His argument focused on legitimacy.
Anthony Joshua, who's now 5 inches bigger than you, maybe more, or 4 or 5 inches, and about 100 pounds heavier. You just don't go from there right up to there.
A 2-time heavyweight champion with Olympic pedigree is not a marketing prop. Treating him like one is how people get hurt. Jordan's stance mattered because it came from someone who understands both sports media and ownership. He was not offended by the spectacle. He was offended by the mismatch.
Punching heavyweight. And fake Paul's never been in with a heavyweight. Like I said earlier, he lost to Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight. He lost to him. Tommy Fury's not even British level. So you can't chuck fake Paul in with Anthony Joshua and take it serious.
What made the reaction harsher was that even figures who had previously supported crossover boxing started to pull back. Several fighters and commentators who once defended influencer bouts as gateways into the sport admitted that this fight exposed a hard ceiling, not a temporary limitation, a structural one. The acknowledgement was quiet but widespread. You can sell curiosity, you can sell novelty, you cannot skip the infrastructure of boxing and expect heavyweight outcomes to bend for you.
Because he got hit clean by one of the biggest punchers, acclaimed, a lot of accolades, world champion heavyweight, and he went down and didn't get up. And honestly,
the numbers backed up everything the critics were saying. Anthony Joshua entered professional boxing after a deep amateur career that included over 150 amateur bouts. That number matters because amateurs are where timing, defense, and survival instincts are built. Jake Paul entered professional boxing with zero amateur background, not a short amateur run, none. That gap does not close with confidence or training camps. It closes with years. Joshua had them, Paul did not.
It was exactly what it needed to be tonight for this fight and for this fight. It was fun. It was crazy at times with the wrestling and all the grabbing and the clenching, the referee saying the fans didn't pay for this shit, all the dirty tactics.
Joshua's professional resume includes multiple world title defenses across different reigns. He has gone 12 rounds at elite pace against world-class opposition. Paul, by contrast, had never fought beyond 8 rounds at elite pace before this bout. That difference is not academic. 8 rounds and 12 rounds are different sports, especially at heavyweight. The physical and mental toll escalates dramatically after the 8th. Fighters who have not lived there tend to show it quickly.
A guy that doesn't have the longest career, he's the only one outside of Conor McGregor that could fight this level of fight at his experience and draw in the type of...
Financially, the fight confirmed what many insiders already suspected. Estimated purses ranged between $40 and $50 million for each fighter. Those figures, reported widely after the event, reinforced that this was a commercial juggernaut, a spectacle designed to draw attention and revenue. Nobody disputes that. What the numbers also revealed is that commercial success does not equal competitive balance. Big money did not make the matchup closer, it just made the consequences louder.